Hey there guys, Ephraim's Vanguard here, and welcome to this next episode of Let's Play SpongeBob SquarePants Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, and oh boy, do I have some stories to tell you about. To give you the summation real quick, this is not the same recording as the last episode, the one where Hurricane Irma was coming through, and I have some stories about that too. This is, like, a week or two later? Yeah, like, almost 2 weeks later. And, no damage to my house. That's good. I'll explain more about that in a little bit, because I have a lot of talking to do. What you need to understand is that last episode didn't go too well. The previous episode 15. Why is that? Because, well, for reasons I'll explain in a little bit. All you need to know is that I've done it before, so this part isn't really blind. I know what to do, frustratingly so. And, the only good thing that came out of that recording, I can't use the footage because it's just boring and it's me complaining the whole time, but not really all that exciting. But the point being that at least one benefit I got out of that footage is that I have an alternate version of the cutscene we're about to enter right here.
I'd like to order that magic bottle, please. And here's the sand dollars to pay for it.
Great! Your order will be on the next boat, which should arrive any time now that the lighthouse beacon is working again. I'll go open the gate. You better get on the end of the pier. You might miss the boat.
Actually that might have been the alternate one right there. Either way, I'll put in the other one. If, actually, you might have already seen the other one. I can't exactly remember. But, basically, it's if you have the money to pay for the bottle, but you don't have the light thing. I do think that was on a previous episode. But, yeah, because of that, GameCube error last episode, I had to redo all that, and that time around I didn't, I'm remembering now, that time around I didn't, this is the second time going through Goo Lagoon because of the shutdown last episode, and, the second time around I didn't talk, oh gosh, I didn't talk to him before, well I did talk to him before, I had the money already in hand. No, I didn't. I went to talk to him at first about the bottle thing. No, I'm still completely confused. So what really happened this second go-round was, what happened the second go-round was that, sorry, it's been a while since I've recorded. What happened was, I collected all the money for the bottle before I first talked to him, and then I went to him to see if he would say anything, and it didn't change the dialogue at all. But you have to come up to him again for him to prompt you to say that you have the money and to go turn on the lighthouse. I didn't do that conversation. I just completely skipped it and went ahead and turned on the lighthouse myself. And that's what happens if you do that beforehand. He just doesn't acknowledge that the lighthouse was ever a problem in the first place.
You to slow down.
So, now we're here on the pier. This is the area that gave me a whole lot of trouble last time. There's some difficult platforming. But more importantly, you'll notice that there's coins about here. I'm not going to explain why, but you want to make sure you collect every single coin. That's very important. Every single coin. That's one of the issues why I had to scrap last episode. As you can see, there were some barrels back up here that I had to break. Make sure you do that, because I didn't do that last episode and it kind of screwed me over. But in any case, we'll continue along right here. The camera, you can't move the camera at all right here, so it's really difficult to tell how your platforming is going. There's this kid right over here. And, yeah, you want to check out each of these boats. Each of these boats. Come on. There we go. You want to check out each of these boats because most of them have coins on them. Jump over here to this clam. We'll jump up here. And we got ourselves a little box over here. What's in the box, you might ask? Well, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, so we'll try and hop back onto this clam. Try and get back. Because if you fall in the water in this area, you have to go back to the very front gate. There's no checkpoints in this area. And that'll become an issue in just a little bit. I'm going to spare that guy.
Get off the beach,
These two,
runt.
actually, just to demonstrate
Are
something.
you looking for trouble?
They, of course, their voice clips to reset the audio. I can't quite remember what I've talked about and what I haven't talked about since it has been a while. And I'll need to shut my trap here in a second. So I don't have too much to talk about. There's just all these kids sitting around here on the pier. This is a very
Are you looking for
unstable
trouble?
pier if this is what they're doing. Pay attention to the number of coins you have. It's, like I said, very important. And why is it important that you get all the coins? Because... yeah, there's nothing else here. Because...
I hope I made it in time. Yes, I see the boat now. It's getting closer. Getting closer. Looking good. Not slowing down, but definitely getting closer. Getting really close. Still not slowing down. Too close. Must move legs. Hurry.
Alrighty. So the Dutchman is going to be ramming this boat after us. And that's why you want to collect the coins, because he's going to destroy this pier. And you need to keep on running, because the boat gains ground surprisingly fast for you. The reason I kept those guys alive is just to show you that wherever the lifeguards are, except for that one dude over there.
Looking for trouble?
I think he is. The lifeguards, the area that they're on generally won't get destroyed, but the areas where civilians are will. Well, no, the area the civilians are will not get destroyed, but the areas that the lifeguards on will. And as you can see over there, took him out. And if you get hit by the boat, it'll cause damage to you. And this is also why I recommend collecting the coins, because, oh gosh, because it's, you're on a time basis right here. And in case you're wondering, if you fall into the water, you do go back to the entrance here before any of this happens, so you have to go back and watch that cutscene again, because it's not skippable. But in any case, SpongeBob's running away with a pretty appropriate reaction right there.
There's no reason for me to stick around here now that the pier's demolished. If only I was younger, I'd check through that wreckage for anything useful. It's back to Jellyfish Fields for me.
Alrighty there. Well, there's still that letter out there, so we gotta go back and we should check on the wreckage out here. Alright. So now here we are back on the pier, and as you can see, the whole layout has changed. And there's more doubloons now. Like I said, if there's any doubloons that you missed earlier, they're gone. They're not just going to be floating out above the water. They're gone. Because that was an issue I had before, because I missed one of those coins, and thus I couldn't 100% it. Before I do that, though, there was another issue. I restarted and redid that whole area. Fortunately, I didn't mess up that last time. It took me like 20 minutes, or rather like 15 minutes before, just on the Dutchman boat crash section, because I kept on falling in the water and screwing up. But I realized after completing that and doing all that, that I missed a coin. Even going back and resetting the whole thing, starting from where I started off this episode, I still missed a coin. And so I spent probably about an hour and a half just running through the entirety of Goo Lagoon looking for the coin, and I couldn't find it. So unfortunately, I had to look up a guide, or rather a video walkthrough, to figure out where the coin, that last elusive coin, was. You want to know where it is? You have to destroy this kid's sandcastle to get it. How rude is that? I just didn't even think about it. First of all, because the sandcastles look like set pieces, not breakable objects. And I didn't want to ruin a kid's sandcastle, because that's not what people do in good company. And I didn't look anymore, so now I'm just going to have to go around and destroy all the sandcastles I see. Sorry if I sound a little bitter. It might have just been that one, because Ugh. Sorry I'm so bitter, but I was hoping I could finish up the game in that recording session, but I couldn't because I spent an hour and a half looking for that stupid last coin. I really do sound pissed off. Oh. Alright. Sorry about that. Now, like I said, we gotta go destroy kids' sandcastles because some of them have coins, some of them don't. You just gotta be... I'm not going to use language, but you have to be a jerk and just go ahead and destroy them all.
Hey, no
Really
running
irritating.
on the beach.
And while we're over here, I actually need to change in... Nope, wrong button. Change it to the jellyfishing gear. For a reason I'll get into momentarily. No, it doesn't destroy him. I just feel like such a jerk doing that, and that's why I didn't even think about it in the
Hey,
first place.
No running on the beach.
Because no good person would go around destroying kids' sandcastles. But here you have to, because that's where the coins are.
Get off the beach, runt.
Alright. Just this last one here. Oh, there's actually a graphic for the lighthouse now. That's a little bit interesting. But I want to get in the jellyfishing gear and start heading on this way. Because when I was doing that hour and a half search for the missing coin, I encountered something a little odd. I don't know exactly where it is. I think it was close by. But, you'll notice that it says we have 100% jellyfish. That guy begs to differ. There's only 37, in the area, so I don't know why it wouldn't visually show up as a percentage point. But that's the case. We missed a jellyfish. What is that one? I can't remember. But, with that, we should have all the jellyfish, and we can do the thing. We can stop worrying about jellyfish for this area, that's what. Sorry, my mind's just in 1,000 different places right now. This is the only episode that I'm going to be able to record today because I have a limited time frame, but I just wanted to get this one in, wrap up Goo Lagoon, because really it's been a huge impetus to me wanting to record, because I knew I was just going to get frustrated like I did. But in any case, I suppose I should start talking about the hurricane that ran on through, Hurricane Irma. I live in north of central Georgia, almost directly east of Atlanta, and Atlanta is in North Georgia, just so you know, for those of you who don't know Georgia all that well. North Georgia is like where the actual Appalachian Mountains are. But the point being, since I was so far up in Georgia, I wasn't really in that much threat of a hurricane, which is why I was both in my house and recording in the middle of it, because it really wasn't that bad. We were expecting Tuesday to be the worst of it, and I was recording on a Monday. That turned out to be a wrong assumption, because Tuesday just had a little bit of light wind, not even any rain or thunder, whereas it was Monday that had all that stuff the day that I was recording. Fortunately, most of it came in before my recording, and because I did my recording early in the morning just in case. And good thing I did, because I thought there was a power surge that took out the GameCube when I was recording episode 14. That turned out to be wrong. By the way, I figured out how this works. It just slowly moves up and down. That's why it could sometimes jump on top of it and sometimes not. And you gotta wait to get to the top of it, because there's a letter up there. But the point being, good thing I did record in the morning, because there was an actual power surge a bit later. An actual one that took out the lights and everything. I should have known that the earlier one that did happen during the recording wasn't a power surge. It was just an error with the GameCube, because the lights didn't flicker or nothing. The TV didn't go off. It all stayed on. But there was an actual power surge a bit later, and that was really the worst that we had here at my house. And I'm extremely lucky, because power went out. I guess the kids all rebuilt their sandcastles, but so that takes the sting off a little bit. But I was lucky. That
Hey,
little power
no
surge that only
running on
lasted a
the
few seconds
beach.
was the only issue with power or anything that we had here at my house. Lots of other people down in Florida and South Georgia and apparently South Carolina, from what I hear too, they weren't so lucky. Lots of them without power for a while. DeKalb County was, lots of schools there were without power for an entire week. And my own town wasn't perfectly pristine either. We had, I thought that was a stack of coins. We had, in just this little town, we had power lines come down in like 5 separate points. Both my, grandfather and his brother were without power for, a couple days. And there we have that letter. So all we got left is the one at the end of the pier. But both of them were without power for a while, and they live on opposite ends of the town, just to give you an idea of how widespread the power outages were. And my uncle, my great uncle, I guess, my grandfather's brother, lives pretty close to us, so I'm surprised we didn't lose power as well. But like I said, we were lucky. We didn't. We kept power the whole time. Power, internet, and everything. And like the folks in Athens weren't so lucky either. They this one doesn't rotate, it just kind of sits still. It like one of my classmates, he had to do a project because he was without power, and because he was without power, he also didn't have internet either. So to do a project, he had to work entirely off of his cell phone. But the point being that I was really lucky about that, and there wasn't any damage to our house or anything. Though it was kind of close because, and I'll probably throw the picture somewhere up on screen when I'm in the middle of talking about this. A tree, because of the strong winds, a tree did end up coming down. There's no reason to go on that ship. Why am I heading over there? A tree did come down outside of our house, and it came dangerously close to coming through the deck that we had just renovated the weekend prior to the hurricane. But, and I can show you, like, part of the tree ended up under the house, but miraculously, the porch didn't have a scratch on it, and no other part of the house was damaged too. Like, and when I mean not a scratch, I mean it didn't scratch the paint, not the screen on it. And the screen was the main thing, because we had just put that up after a long time of waiting to renovate it, because the cat my sister has tore it up. But the point being, we were really lucky that it didn't take out the porch. And that was the closest we came to having any damage. No flooding either. My sister's apartment did flood a little bit, but it wasn't necessarily just because of the hurricane. It was because there was a crack in the foundation. And, yeah. So that was a little unfortunate for her. Not bad, it just made the bedroom damp and uncomfortable, according to her. So yeah, I'm glad I'm glad I didn't have much of an issue there. I feel bad for the people that did have a bit of an issue, but there's not too much I can say about that. But in any case, back to the game and not the hurricane. As you can see, if you fall in the water, you come back, you either go back to the beginning, or if you manage to get to this platform, you spawn over here. That checkpoint is not there the first time the pier was around. Like I said, if you fall at any point during that first section, you go back straight up to the very beginning of the dock. But, like I was trying to say, back... There we go. Managed to make it. And in case you're wondering, no, you can't hop. You can hop onto the ship from the ship over here, but you can't do it the other way. It's pretty impossible. Trust me. Well, quick travel back. I don't really have much else to talk about. Like I said, the first time I was coming through here, it was just me complaining about that worrying about that missing coin. And also that letter, to the crow's nest. I was thinking if you hop in this cannon over here, you can see there's a ship over there. And I was thinking you could there was some way you could aim the cannon and get it up there. And in case you're wondering what this cannon is for, well, I missed. But the point is, there's no use for that cannon. Zero. I don't know why it's there, but it was just so troubling. That's why I spent, part of the reason why I spent an hour and a half looking for the coin, because I thought that cannon's going to lead me to it. Alas, 'twas not the case. Sorry I sound so frustrated. And I wanted, like I said, I wanted to wrap up the last area of the game, get all the recording done with. I wanted to get the last bit of recording done with, but that just can't happen because I'm on a limited time frame today. There's still some kids over here on the pier. And please tell me. Yes, we have everything except for that letter. So we just gotta hop on over here. If you don't like the way this cube awkwardly spins, then you can try and hop up onto the back of that boat right there. It's also sturdy. Don't know why this guy's tubing out in the middle over here. But we are about to wrap up Goo Lagoon in just a second. I won't be able to go on to the last area. I'm probably just going to wrap up the episode once we get the treasure chest. No special sound? Just continuing along. Alrighty. Unfortunately, I do remember where the treasure chest is precisely, so in this one, so it's not much of a adventure. You can actually recognize it fairly easily from there.
Bring it around town.
Alright, so here we are. Now in this stage we can't really attack, but they still have the lifeguards around, so if you need to deal with them,
on the beach.
do that. And just continue hopping along. Unfortunately, the voice clips, they will restart the music every now and then. But, yeah, I need to wrap up here real quick. As you can see, it's right over here. In case you can recognize
no
it
running on the
very
beach.
much. I'm not running on the beach, I'm hopping. Nothing special this time around? Well, alright then. In that case, I know it's a bit of a shorter episode, but I do need to wrap up. Sure. No, actually, I'm just going to save it to a third one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.